All right, it's Saturday morning. Get your coffee. Yeah. Oh, wow. It's time for an early morning edition of COFOH Live Undead. I'm here with my co host, Stefan Santa Cruz, and our guest today is Tanya Lady Fly Volkova. Hopefully, I didn't butcher that. From the Ukraine. She's an amazing metal vocalist, just a phenomenal musician. And we're going to get underway. You have something on my face. Oh, wow. How are you,
Hello.
Tanya?
Hello, nice to see you. I'm fine. It's a great day today, and thank you. Hope you are doing well too.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing great. Stefan, how you doing, sir?
Pretty good. Just woke up. Not bad.
Yeah, it's the morning for us. It's about 9:15 a.m. Tanya, what time is it in Ukraine?
It's 6 p.m. and it's evening already.
Oh,
Not
man.
so early, but for someone maybe it's early morning too.
Oh,
We're
right.
international.
After Friday.
For the vampires, it's early.
Yes, yes.
Uh, Tanya, you probably work with some vampires because you're in the music scene, and predominantly that a lot of the live shows happen at night.
Yes, it's of course metalheads are special people, and really many of them like vampires and other topics related to this, and some like this outfit like this. So it's really great, and I like to. By the way.
Yeah.
Nice. So, Tanya, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you come from, how you got into music.
I'm from Ukraine, so not so big country, but has its own great history. And as for music, it started many years ago. So I'm more than 10 years as metal vocalist and worked in many different metal bands. And so it's great. And I have so many to remember from that crazy times, from concerts, shows.
Oh,
And
wow.
I hope that,
Awesome.
yes, I will have more still in my future. And so how everything begins, I started in it's at school, and I think I was 14 years old, and I started to listen Children of Bodom. It was my first metal band
Yeah.
and still one of my favorite bands. And my classmate gave me a cassette to listen. So that time there were no discs,
Hmm.
and I started to listen. So it was great. It was Manover. You
Yeah.
know that band, yes, and the Drowning Pool. So I still have uh, my idols from that time, and of course Slipknot, one of my favorite bands too. And
Yeah.
everything started from the listening. I think, as for many musicians, they just listen to great music, and after a few years, I decided that this is part of my life, and I want to do something like this. and yes, I wanted to do something similar. So that's why I'm here in
Yeah.
music now.
Oh, wonderful. That's
And we're all better off for it.
goddamn right. Yeah. Yeah. So, are you currently singing with a band? When you go to your YouTube page, it's I think it's is it Ada? AIDA? Is that the name of the band that
Yes,
you're with?
Aida.
Okay.
Um, it's a little difficult question because I had many different bands, and for
Right.
now I'm in search. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Yes. Why it happens so? Because it's very hard to find right professional musicians that want to have tours, have shows around the world.
Yeah.
Of course, there are many talented musicians, very many here in Ukraine, but not all of them want to travel and to do this like a serious part of life, because
Mhm.
many have
Hmm.
family, have work, have
Right.
different stuff, so it's very hard. Yes, and
Sounds
that's
like an
why
excuse.
I try to find the same
Metal is
people
life.
who, yes, for whom it's for life. It's like lifestyle, not
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
only some kind of playing during free time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
It can be a really tough thing. You really have to be able to devote a lot of time to it. A lot of resources have to go into it. Yeah.
of course.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
oh yes, many
Mhm.
sacrifices.
Yeah.
Every time, every minute, and every time you have to choose what way you will go. Or you will see friends, or you will go to
Mhm.
rehearsal, or
Yeah.
some birthday of your friend, or something else with family, with many issues. And each time you have to choose, but not many people can choose the music way, the music part, to go to
You must
rehearsal
give
or
your soul
recording
to metal.
studio. Yes, and of course, when people are in a relationship, so it's also
Oh,
very many difficulties, because they can tell that my wife do not want me to go in another city
right.
and is
Yeah.
jealous or something. I do not know. So it's also
You gotta get rid of those people immediately.
but
yes.
it
They
sounds like.
don't.
Oh,
Sorry,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. I was gonna say if they don't see your metal dreams, then they can't be a part of them. Anyway,
Yes.
continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Stefan's such a purist.
Yes.
Pure metal. Well,
My metal dream is always to do metal.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
That's all not so difficult
yes,
dream,
Yeah.
I
yeah.
hope.
Yeah. What's the scene like in Ukraine with metal and just music in general?
I think it's like in many places in the world, because metal is not so popular
Mm.
on TV or radio, but this is a policy of the government, I think, of the
Ah,
society.
Mm.
But there are a lot of musicians who like metal music, and some fans, and other people who like metal, but for some reason it's not on TV or other programs.
okay.
So yes, so that's why not so popular.
I see. But is the goal for yourself to tour, outside of Ukraine, or are you able to do a number of tours like inside Ukraine?
I had already many shows in Ukraine, but
Okay.
I would like to see more, of course.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And yes, and that's why I'm in search of a serious band,
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
I want to have shows around the world, and I have many skills for this. I just
Yeah.
have to find the right people who will want to do the same.
Yeah. Yeah. With your craft for singing and everything, listening to your music on YouTube. Um, it sounds like you go from the really kind of grisly guttural growling type vocals to more of the like almost traditional rock and roll high pitch thing.
Clean.
Yeah, it's quite the range that you have. I'd imagine it takes a lot of practice and a lot of throat training too.
Yes, it took a lot of time, and even I had about, I think, 4 years when I had my studio with my band in my hometown, and I practiced almost every day.
Yeah.
So it was many hours too. Of course, I tried to come to studio how much as it was possible and to train in every day, and it really took a lot of time. But I think that every person can sing like this, or it's all in own style. Just that person have to devote a lot of time for this. So I think this is not so much problem if you like to make some metal music. But of
Did you
course,
have
if there are some more important things in life, so I'm sorry, that way it will not work. Yes.
Did you have a difficult time learning how to be a metal singer as opposed to any other type of vocalization in your throat? Did you run into obstacles with being able to project? Did you seek out any outside teaching?
Yes, of course. I had difficulties, I think, as every person who tried to teach something, and and want to study something. And I even had people who tried to learn from me and came to me and asking me, explain me how you do
Yeah,
this. But I just listened to my favorite music and I try to do the same. But
yeah.
of course, in our head, we can imagine in this in some way that this is so easy. It's not a problem. But when we start to train, we can understand that this is not so easy because it's like it's our body, and we have some specific
Yeah.
approach for this, and that's why it takes a lot of time. I think it's like sport competition. So when people get ready for this, so they will devote a lot of time for training, and this is the same. Yes.
Cool. You hear about a lot of metal vocalists who blow out their vocal cords because they're not doing it correctly or whatever. So it's got to be pretty
Not
tough to find the technique, right?
Yes, to find technique it's very important, but also I want to tell that the more important is to be passionate about
Yeah.
music. And when person have some limitations inside and doubt about himself, so this is more terrible for vocals.
Yeah,
And
cool.
when person think a lot, how should I do this or that? So it's also a problem. But I think that when person have a band, that person should just practice and to do it as more often as it possible, and just to watch some simple lessons on YouTube. So it's not so difficult, I think, if some person want to find that way. And I also watch some easy lessons for clean vocals, and in different times I had also teachers, but it didn't last long because it was very difficult to find right person, and some of them even didn't know how to do it correctly, because some of them can play guitar great or some other instrument but not vocals. So that's why it's also difficult to find the right person.
Yeah. Yeah. When it comes to like songwriting, are you writing your own material as well?
As for music, as we know, that metal is not so usual
Right.
music. Yes, that's why I do not write music, because
Okay.
it's not only simple chords. It's different with melody, so it's like rhythm, you know.
More complex.
Yes, it's more complex, of course. I play acoustic guitar, but I can't just take that guitar and play 4 simple chords. So
Yeah.
it's yes, do not work this way. That's why I can't write metal music. But if we talk about pop music, maybe of course I could do this.
What about your, where do you find inspiration for your lyrical content? For
Yeah.
For my
your
lyrical
words?
content. um, uh,
Oh, did
we
you
losing?
freeze? Oh,
Yes, maybe. You hear me? Yes, but I'm
oh
freeze.
no.
I can scream. Yes.
That's okay. We can still hear you.
It's crazy. I don't know how
Yeah,
to
sometimes
do
the
it
Wi-Fi
works.
connection just does that. But at least it froze on a very nice still image.
Yeah.
Usually it freezes on me doing something stupid like that, this or something, you know. So that's okay. At least you haven't
Okay.
cut out.
I hope that it will work soon.
Yeah, hopefully it'll jump back in. But anyway, going back to your lyrics, where do you find inspiration?
Yes, as about inspiration, it's very simple for me because I always try to find some topic that I want to discuss in my songs. Um, and maybe I do not have any inspiration. I just give some topics from inside because there are so many problems in the world with many people in society. So I think it's endless. Just
Ah,
that problems
yeah.
really are endless. Yes, and I can choose something from this. And of course, I always discuss everything with musicians and what topic they want to discuss, and I just came to propose this or that, and they told me I think that this music is about this topic or about that topic, and this way I can write lyrics.
Okay. So you write lyrics around prearranged compositions then already.
Yes, yes. They just show me some music, and it can be just music from the rehearsal, some video. So, and I can already to do a song for this. It's not a problem for me. I think it's about maybe 1 hour to make a song ready with lyrics and vocal lines.
Wow,
Nice.
that's pretty
Talent.
impressive. Yeah.
Can't buy that at a store.
Oh, of course. A few years ago, I can do like that, and because to put ready lyrics on music, it's not so simple for every person. But for me, for now, it's not so
Yeah.
difficult. I can say that simple because sometimes musicians can have different views on vocal lines, and
Mhm.
so sometimes and very often we have to discuss everything, and I can do not only one version of the song and maybe 2 or 3 versions. Yes, and I just let the musicians to choose uh, some some of them.
Okay.
That's cool to be really versatile with your songwriting and being able to work with these other
Yes,
musicians and get a perspective out there that you all agree on.
Yes, I just want other musicians to feel comfortable to work with me. So I do not like to tell that this is what I make my vocal lines, and I do not want to change everything. I
Yeah, yeah.
never say like this because I understand this is gravity, and musicians have their own
hmm
views, and I always try to do that way so everyone will be satisfied with the song. I'm very flexible with this.
Cool.
It's a collaboration. It takes a village to make great art.
Yes, yes.
not
The
a
band,
little village.
yes, the band is not only about one person.
Yeah.
That's cool. So I noticed on your Facebook page, and we posted it to the event page, that you are now a judge for a music competition. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, it was surprising for me too. But one person, her name is Ning. I hope that I pronounce it correct. Her name, and she just wrote to me and suggested to be a judge for the
Cool.
competitions. Yes, with different vocalists, and for now I have 10 different songs that I should choose who is the best, and it's not so easy because I already listened almost all that songs and so many great vocalists, and so it will be difficult for me to choose someone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. The we were talking a little bit earlier too about kind of vampire culture, amongst musicians. And you were mentioning that a lot of your influences, being like Drowning Pool and Manowar, I believe too.
Yes, yes.
Do you draw find a lot of inspiration and influence from a lot of American bands, or is there a lot of European bands too that really compel you?
Oh, it's a very difficult question because
Sorry, I know it's a big one.
yes, a really difficult question because I didn't check any band from where are they, but
Sure.
I had during all my life so many bands
Hmm.
that influenced me. So
Hmm.
it's really difficult to tell. But of course, I like a lot American bands, and I
Hmm.
think that they have different own style of music,
Yeah.
and only there we can meet that style. And I already noticed that because even like Drowning Pool. So I never met something like this, and
Hmm.
that vocalist Dave Williams. It's my favorite, and
Cool.
I think that even after many years, he is the best for me. Yes, and I like all his live shows, and I watch everything with him. So, and he really inspired me to do vocals like this for me now, with extreme vocals and clean vocals, but
Hmm.
still, of course, he is better in many ways because he is so strong person, and so it's really a rock star. Yes, the best.
Cool. Yeah, definitely.
That's fantastic. The growing up here in the U.S., like most of mine is basically like listening to like Slayer, and then kind of other bands are around that. Godflesh is another one, but I think they're more of a British band. Um, yeah, Stefan, what are you listening to these days?
Oh man, that's the cool thing about metal is the landscape is constantly evolving, and there's new
Right.
bands every day. There's amazing releases every week. But some of my all-time favorites are probably like Tool and Mastodon is a huge one for me.
Yeah.
They kind of filled that gap when Tool kind of fell out for a little while. But I
Oh,
also
okay.
like, I mean, I'm wearing a Black Crown Initiate t-shirt, and I'm like, supplant my metal listening with a little bit more eclectic stuff here and there, but the core of my existence is heavy metal.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm just wearing a Muppets T-shirt.
Nice. They're pretty metal.
Well, animal, most definitely.
Animals metal as hell.
I like cute, warm, bubbly T-shirts, even though this is a horror show. I like keeping things, fun and family friendly, and which no, not really what it is, but you know. But no, that's cool. And Tanya, a lot of the bands that you work with, tend to have kind of that progressive, prog rock metal aspect to it. Not unlike something like along, what Stefan was, talking about with Mastodon and to an extent, Tool.
Opeth.
Opeth. Oh, that's a good reference.
Yes, it's like progressive style, but also like mixing with new metal and metalcore, I think.
Oh,
Yes, and I wanted to tell that I always try to find some serious band, and that's why I should become like this, because you know that working with the men in band is not so easy, because they always tell how everything should sound, and that's why I always had to improve and become vocalist in this style. And that bands I had in my life only maybe three serious bands. I had a lot of bands, but only three from them were serious. It was New Line and Another Me and Aida, my last
okay.
project.
Yeah.
Yes. And so you can hear what kind of music they play, and this is what I could find at the time, and that's because I should become something like for them, the
Yeah.
vocalist for that bands. Yes, if I want to development, so I should study a lot.
Yeah, I'd imagine being, as a woman, as a female creative, working with men in such
Yes.
an aggressive, kind of, musical platform. Yeah, that can be kind of daunting. So I definitely applaud you for that, because I know a lot of guys and we are assholes.
I can't say that to work with a man in band is bad, because I also had experience to work with women in
Okay.
band, and with women, it may be difficult a lot, because my first band, it was a female band. And that time I played guitar, electric
Oh, nice.
guitar. Yes, in my first band, it was about 2 years I played electric guitar, and before that I played about 3 years on acoustic guitar. So I had some experience, but I learned with them also, and yes. And it was really difficult too, because not so many women maybe have many goals, because a woman it's like about a relationship, family, something like this.
I see.
But yes, but men usually want to achieve something. That's because it's easier for me to work with the men, because they do not afraid so much like women. Yes, and they
Interesting.
have power to achieve something. So it's more interesting for me.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Interesting.
Yes.
Uh, with metal and like here in the U.S., like heavy metal and horror seem to go hand in hand. A lot of cross pollination, a lot of cross influence. Is
Skulls.
yeah, definitely.
Yes. Nice.
Um, is that would it be? Is it something similar in the Ukraine with heavy metal music and horror culture?
Yes, I think yes, because maybe we can call heavy metal music like culture for all the world. Uh, yes, not only for some separate country.
Mm-hmm.
And of
hmm
course, yes, here it's the same, I think, with the horror culture.
The
Yeah.
love of the darkness. right?
I do not know if I like the darkness because I do not like to stay at home alone because
Oh.
I live in the house. So in the house
Yeah.
it's can be scary.
Yeah.
Yes, but in metal, of course, when I come to stage, I try to do some really show,
Hmm.
not just
The theatrics.
presence on the stage, but really to do something that people really will like, and it will not be something weak or insignificant. I do not know. So it
Yeah.
must be powerful, and I
Yeah.
always try to do this. And of course, I try to use some horror methods in my performing. You can see very easy on my pictures on my face.
Yeah,
So this is
definitely.
how it happened.
You bring a good intensity to your stage presence, that's like alluring in that way for metal fans, that's kind of like what you need. You can't be just up there like, oh, yeah, you got to
Yes.
be kind of, but I guess that's the personality of aggressive music.
True.
Yes, I just like to feel every person who listen to my performing, and I try to look on everyone who listen and to have like some kind of personal relationship. So when I sing,
Cool.
I always look in eyes to every person.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
and
bet they like that.
yes, and they really like this. And, and I know
You
that.
look right at me.
And many people after my performance told me that we have goosebumps when you look at
Yeah,
us.
for
It's
sure,
really
for sure.
scary.
Well, well, that makes it for a much more endearing experience because heavy metal music is very can be very personal and usually is. I mean,
Hmm.
it's raw emotion. It's that raw exposed nerve, and people coming to your show. I would imagine that they're wanting that level of intimacy, even though it's you're performing for a large audience. Um, but do you find that can be the case?
Yes, and really, I see that the audience of metal music maybe it's not so big like in pop music, but I think that metalheads they think more a lot about life, I think,
Yeah.
and about
Yeah.
different situations in the
Hmm.
world, and maybe not about just what we can see with our eyes, but also some spiritual uh,
All
moments
right.
too. Yes,
Yeah.
about death and life and demons, angels, I don't know,
Yeah.
heaven, hell. So a lot of topics.
Yeah, I was gonna say it seems like for non-metal fans, there's like common misconception that it's either just Vikings or dragons or something. But
Yeah.
I think many people don't realize how deep some of the content of many metal bands and metal vocalists, it's poetry,
Yeah.
and a lot of
Yes.
times people are like, "Oh, why are they yelling at me? I can't even hear them. I can't even understand." But I think what metal music does is it evokes in you to work with it and meet it halfway.
Yeah.
Listen a little bit harder because now after years of listening to metal, I can hear what they're saying as if they were speaking to me, but people are like, "Oh, I don't get it." I don't.
Yes.
Do you? Yeah, it's
Yes.
a yeah. I don't know if that's a question so much, but
Yes, I also noticed that, but also I want to tell that do not think that I do not respect some pop music, as I
sure.
think that many years ago, or few years ago, it was more smart music with more smart text, with lyrics, and
Hmm.
even that band Roxette I like a lot. It's so this kind it was like pop rock music, but now pop music it's not like it was few years ago. It's really
Yeah.
for many people who do not want to think, and I do not understand why
Yeah.
that happened. And
Yeah.
new generation maybe because of them, or just because someone do not want people to be clever, and that's why for them they create so not so smart content. I do not know.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
very deep topic.
Yeah, definitely. One thing as well, kind of sidestepping that, is you're starting to see how heavy metal is bleeding into more mainstream culture. You have like Kardashians wearing Slayer t-shirts and stuff, and even most recently, Taylor Swift's album Folklore, a lot of metal musicians have been like, she's just taking black metal imagery and, you know,
Mm.
popularizing it in her own music. So it's just interesting to see how metal is becoming more of the mainstream, and I think it's one of the fastest developing genres. So I think I don't know. You have any comment to?
I just I can only hope that the metal develops, because in Ukraine it's really like dying, unfortunately.
Oh
Because
no.
yes, about maybe 7 years ago, it was different situation here.
Mm-hmm.
It was more concerts, more shows, more metal bands. Of course, there are still a lot of metal bands, but it was many metal heads even
Mm-hmm.
on the street. And even that metalhead community I can saw in different places when they were talking about something in the park or somewhere. They have places where they come together and talking and playing guitar, but now it's not the same.
Mm.
And I think it's like metal music is dying, and
Mm.
no, here of course in Ukraine. And that's the other reason why I want to travel with
Yeah.
concerts
Yeah.
Come to
something.
Colorado. We got a great metal scene out here.
Yeah. Come to the
There's a
U.S.
new
We're
metal
pretty.
band every day out here. Um, they would love you. They'd love you.
Of course, I have some plans about come to USA next year with
Yeah.
my manager and MGI. So we
Mm.
discussed also this, and I hope that everything will work out for me and I can find serious musicians. And now I lead some correspondence with different musicians, and the person I can't tell now who is this, but I hope that soon I will have also some music stuff
Mm.
for my future project. So I have a lot of great plans, and I hope that
Yeah.
this pandemic situation will end. And
Yeah.
everyone is waiting for this, and me
Yeah,
too.
definitely. How have you been
Well,
keeping sane and keeping your music alive during the pandemic?
Oh, it's not so difficult for me because I have my guitar at home, and of course, I can't sing some metal music because
Yeah.
well,
I can't scream at home or something like this. If
mhm.
someone can do this, this is lucky person, but unfortunately not me. But I can
Mm,
go to the studio and still to practice and to sing
cool.
something. And I am very very missing to work in the band because I like so much that process working with the band. And so for me it's difficult times now, and I'm just waiting when everything
Hmm.
will improve. And because
Yeah.
even to practicing alone, it's not the same as working with the band on the rehearsal, so it's not
Yeah.
the same. And so
Hmm.
I'm very sad
Yeah,
about this.
yeah, that sounds tough.
Yeah. So
Yes.
you're really looking forward to that group interaction to really get the creative juices.
Yes, because when people play together, it's so huge power,
Yeah.
and this way everything work out very well, and vocals and everything. So it's great. But when the person practicing alone, it's maybe not so much inspiration. I just do this because
Hmm.
I must do this. But
Yeah.
Hmm.
yes, because I don't want to lose my technique. But it's not always so much pleasure for me
Mm.
to sing alone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
So no aspirations for a solo folk career.
Oh, yes.
None of that. Yeah. Well, yeah. Coming out to the U.S. when things are able to open up again, you're working with Groovy, who put us in touch to interview you on here.
Yes.
Hopefully, he can help facilitate that. So Groovy,
Yeah.
if you're watching out there, help this young lady get to the U.S. and share her art with everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Get you in front of some audiences. The audiences out here, we love our metal musicians here. That's one thing I wanted to ask is, again, from the outside, for people who aren't very into metal and stuff, there's this tendency to think that because the music is aggressive and the aesthetic is dark, that metal musicians are like angry at the world and this and that. But what I tend to find is that most metal fans and musicians are some of the most genuine, nicest people that you'll ever meet.
Yes.
Oh yeah, very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find
Yes.
that's common in your experience?
I think that metal musicians just have their own style to explain people some topics, and I think that in different way, maybe it will not so um, not so great, and that's and also I think that every person can find its own style to understand music, and metal should exist, of course, and developing because this style is very special and
Yeah.
unique.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Preach. The words you say are magic. Yes. You hear that, people?
Yes.
If you're not listening to metal, I don't know. I can't talk to you.
Well, and more to that point too. Stefan and Tanya, with heavy metal music, it's such a great little point to kind of expel a lot of negative energy, kind of
Cathartic.
balance yourself out. Yeah, it's very cathartic, and it's a great place to center yourself. I think there have been studies done that people that listen to heavy metal music as well as perform it too tend to be a little bit better centered than people that just bottle up their emotions and then just it's a great coping mechanism. People that can't psychologically cope with their everyday anguishes and human conditions tend to explode in inopportune times and make for really
Yes.
bad situations. So I think heavy metal music, as far as like a cultural function and a psychological function, is very key.
Yes.
And I tend to find a lot of these themes too kind of cross pollinate with platforms like in punk and also in rap. Where there's a lot of potential pent up aggression and a lot of needing to kind of expel a lot of that energy and communicate that to the world. So it's hopefully
there's statistical data that shows that listening to heavy music is actually more calming than it is anything else. But on the surface, it seems that most people are like, oh, why are they yelling at me? It's just noise or whatever. And to those people, I say, get with it, man.
Join the party.
Crack it open. Metal is love, baby. Metal is there for everybody, and it's medicine.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yes. Yes.
That's what I think.
Wise words. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
It's really like medicine.
I think, Tanya, you need to get a shirt that says metal is for everybody and it's medicine.
Yeah, metal is medicine. Yes. That's actually dope. Let's get it together on that one. I'll go ahead and make a design up.
Yes, I should write some song about this. Very wise words.
Wow.
Yes.
It really is.
Metal is medicine, and stainless steel is the capsule.
Heavy metal
Yeah.
Robitussin. Wow.
Heavy metal Robitussin. I think that one's going to be trademarked, but yes, I
Yeah.
think that's pretty
We'll
accurate.
we'll work on some stuff together. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
And even to that, like we were talking a little bit earlier about, how metal has that association of like medieval and kind of that European and Western European kind of ideology. Um, there's also that background too in opera as well. A lot of heavy metal singers do tend to have a little bit of opera in their background. Ronnie James Dio is a great example.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
his family. I think it was his aunt was a classically trained opera singer and would train other metal singers, and that's how Ronnie I think grew up, becoming such an amazing vocalist, and then from that I think it re- not that he was the source, but he really informed and influenced a lot of people, and so did his aunt. But yeah, opera is such a huge theme, I think, in metal music. Yeah, and I think that's where part of the ideology and the visuals kind of come from as well. That and D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. So, but anyway, yeah.
Yes, I think so too about opera, and I think that even opera is not so popular as pop music for now. So opera also have very some limits of listeners,
Right.
as in metal
Mm-hmm.
music.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I also like opera, and also I wanted to tell that in vocals that for vocals that opera exercises are always important too, and
Cool.
that is what I started few years ago because I
Oh,
had
wow.
a teacher from classical vocals from opera. It was
Cool.
about 4 months my studying, yes, but didn't want to continue education because I could lose my own music style, so it was a little scary for me. But to know something new and to try to sing like this and to make
Yeah.
some exercises, it was very important. And that's what I want to advise many other vocalists that they can to practice
Mm-hmm.
opera vocals for months or 2 months, and this is really great for vocals then. And after that training, my vocals became different, and
Mm.
it became better,
Cool.
really.
Yeah,
Yes.
do you find that you have settled into a style that you like, or are you continuously pushing that forward and developing your style and what you bring into each song?
Of course, I want to develop. I have already my own style of performing, and I want it to stay the main
Mm-hmm.
part of my music life. But of course, I want to do something new, and I develop every day. And for now, I found some very nice teacher, and
Cool.
I just thought about that. It's very sad that I didn't meet my teacher before, because it was really difficult for me all that years to find someone really great, and the person who will understand and can give great knowledge that I need. And for now, I just met that person, and I just want to improve my vocals, and I study every day that exercises. And I think that this pandemic time, this is great for studying, because maybe in future I will not have the time
Yeah.
for all that stuff. That's why I do this for now, and of course I try to improve it, because I do not know what kind of musicians I will collaborate in future, because very many musicians can be very picky, and they
Yeah.
always say, do not do this, do like that. So but I'm always ready for any any of them.
Nice. Yeah, you're ready to be flexible.
Yes,
You
every
have to be,
day.
right?
Got to be adaptable, whatever the situation is.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like preparing for the war.
Yeah,
Always
Yeah.
be ready.
yeah.
Yes.
It's like, well,
Ready
I'm
for
gonna need
battle.
you might need the handgun, but at least I got a katana.
Yeah.
Yes.
The growl is mightier than the sword.
Yeah,
Wow.
there you go.
Right?
Nice.
That's how you
Yes,
win a
because
war.
I don't know mm, in what style I will work in metal, because there are also many different styles,
Mm-hmm.
or it will be new metal, some progressive, or metalcore, or maybe death metal. I do not know. So that's why I try to improve in, because it depends on the musicians which I will meet
Mm-hmm.
in the future. So the main thing for me is to find serious musicians and professional, but the style, maybe it's not so much important for me. I think
Right.
so. Yes.
Yeah. It's more about people you can work with and sustain your creative drive together, have that serious band.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. I hope you find that. God, these people,
Well,
these musicians need to step up, get with it. Lady Fly is ready. Where you at?
most definitely. All the more reason, come over to U.S. Find some American, musicians, or Canadian. I'm sure there's some angry Canadian, metal, band or talent, that looking for of course, Canadians. They're very polite,
Yeah.
so we
That's
love our
really
Canadians.
funny.
Uh,
I'm,
that would be pretty funny to find. It was like,
uh,
oh, we're angry because we're so
now
polite.
that you mention it, I can't think of a Canadian band, but I'm sure they're there. It's
Oh, I'm
funny.
sure they're there.
Nice
Other than
metal,
Brian Adams, they're
Yes.
definitely there. We just got to dig a little bit of
polite metal. I'd listen to it.
polite metal. We're angry about being so polite.
They
Thank you,
travel across
Doctor.
the
No.
street. I'll go with the rats.
Oh, jeez. But yeah, yeah, Tanya. I think we're just about ready to wrap up. What more can you tell our audience about what you want them to know, and where can they go see more of your music, and how can they support you?
Uh, a little more, I wanted to tell that, as we know, here now pandemic time,
Mhm.
and I just want to tell that people and musicians, or someone who knows great musicians, that I would like to collaborate on distance for the first
Cool.
time. Of course, yes, because
Yeah.
I have a great experience of this too, and it's important to create songs even on distance,
Hmm.
because as we know that the bands can rehearsal for years and nothing interesting can be done. Yes, that's why I think that starting from the distant collaboration, it's the best way to come
Yeah.
together in
Yeah.
the future. Yes, so I want to propose people who want to make some collaboration, some great music and stuff. I am open for this. Yes,
Cool. Yeah,
and
definitely.
Yes, and so I think that will be a great start for everyone. And then when we can hear that we have nice song, one song or two
Mhm.
songs, or maybe some material for the future album, so it means that it can be really great, of course, if they are not afraid of traveling for concerts.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
because as I noticed, a lot of people are afraid of this traveling because of the very busy life.
Mhm.
Hmm.
This is maybe more problem than the great material, because great
Yeah.
material we can create, of course, but when it comes to for touring, so many problems with this.
Hmm.
And about supporting, it's very simple. Just I want to tell people, so please listen that music that I post on my YouTube channel, and I still have more videos that I want to share in the near future and to show more songs. And also, I want to make cover songs.
Cool.
Okay.
And I already know what that will be, but I can't
Yeah.
tell now. It will be like a
Exciting.
surprise. Yes, I want to do like a video with cover songs and professional sound. Um, yeah, so that other musician can hear my sound in popular songs, how it can be. Yes. So supporting is very simple, just to show my music other people and to tell about me that you know great music, if you of course like what I do.
Mhm.
um, and I also think about some t-shirts in future, but not now, as I have already my logo from a very talented artist, my friend. It's Capricorn, as I am Capricorn on my zodiac sign. Yes, and I want to make some t-shirts in future,
Oh, cool.
but yes, so
Get
it
some
will.
merch.
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
definitely.
yes.
Nice.
Yeah, so yes, I want to be like a little independent artist, because when I lost my bands, I can tell that it was difficult times for me, because I lost the material, lost everything.
Oh, sure.
That's why I
Oh,
want
dang.
to have my own logo
Yeah.
and my own music.
Hmm.
That that's a very great person should write for me some songs, and this that will be like my own material. And this way I hope that I will not lose my songs in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes,
Right. Yeah. Make sure your manager helps you out on that front.
yes,
Definitely.
I hope so too. Hope so too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I wanted to tell you that about that my logo, so you do not think that I am some kind of selfish person that want to promote myself, and I think that I'm so great. This is not the reason. The reason it was that more than 10 years I am vocalist in metal, and so many different bands, and I always promote someone.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
promote them, help them with everything. Uh, yes, I do not want to tell that names, but really, I did a lot for all the bands with whom I worked. So I do not want for now this. This is why I try to promote myself for now and to see what happen with this way. Mm, yes, for me.
That's cool.
Can I
Well,
ask one thing before we leave? Your name
Yes.
Ladyfly, what's the meaning or the inspiration behind that before we head out?
Oh, it's a not so easy question.
Oh, I should have asked it
um,
earlier, probably.
yeah. Whoops.
yes.
We'll leave them with
Uh,
mystery.
Yes, maybe a little mystery. It comes from my school times, and I had a friend, and she wrote lyrics, and her nickname was Sky. And she told me, "You can try to make some lyrics too." I say, "I do not know. I never did this." And when I was 13 years, I make my first lyrics, and she told me that I should have some nickname like her. And
Cool.
as I was not so maybe smart person at that time, I say, I do not know what it should be. If you're sky, maybe I'm fly.
Nice.
Yes, and then in a few years I had some T-shirt, and it was letters fly, the word fly.
Hmm.
And so I decided to be Lady Fly, and in yes, and from my first metal band when I played guitar, and it was my nickname on my social networks and like my nickname for lyrics. But
Nice.
Cool.
as I become a musician, so I decided it will be my nickname, and I have no reason to think about some different nickname. Yes.
Cool. Yeah. Great.
Well, that's
Yes.
fantastic. Thanks so much, Tanya. It's been a pleasure, having you on and being so generous with your time. Um, and yeah, we wish you luck. Let us know if there's anything we can do to help you. Connect. Hey, a time like this, what a great opportunity to collaborate and record over the internet.
Yeah.
I know a lot of musicians are able to put out whole new albums, during this time, even though they can't be in the studio together. So yeah, if we're able to connect you with some talent, that'd be great, and get
Hmm.
you going on the way. Because probably in the Ukraine, and I might be completely wrong, but you probably have a lot more opportunity to move around than the U.S. can do right now
Yeah.
in terms of travel. We're still a hot mess over here
Oh yeah.
with the pandemic.
Yes, and thank you so much for your time. And it was a really pleasure for me to talk to you. And thank you for your questions, for everything. And I hope that if we will have a conversation next time, I will have
Yeah,
more news to tell you. And I
Cool.
hope that
great.
at that time I will have some serious musicians and music
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Definitely.
I will not tell more about the past, about my past victories, but maybe
Cool.
on my plans, yes, in near future, and maybe some festivals and shows around the
Yeah.
world. So I wish that everything will be like this. And thank you so much for your help. And I hope that someone will hear me.
Oh,
Oh,
we've
they
already got
will.
an audience, so
They
I've been
will.
monitoring that online, and now, this will be out there. Feel free to share the video and share it with any potential musicians or anybody you want to work with, or fans too. But this is out there. I'll have this on YouTube at some point in the near future, and which will be a lot easier to share. And then
Hmm.
yeah, and hopefully when we have you back, and we will, um, we'll have video to go along with that. Not just a very good looking still image. Uh, you
Yeah,
know,
that's strange.
so sorry the video froze, but at least we got the audio and everything.
Yeah.
Yes, of
So
course we will come back, and thank you so much. I will be waiting for this time.
excellent.
Cool.
Excellent. So with that, you guys go ahead, stick around. But with that, yeah, this has been COFOH Live and Undead. My co-host, Stefan Wolfie Santa Cruz. Yeah, always looking good with the glasses and the hair. He's even after just waking up. I've been up since like 4 a.m. because I'm stupid.
Crazy.
Yeah. I'm Dan Crozier, and this has been brought to you by Sumner Twins Talent, Colorado Festival of Horror, in association with Mutiny Information Cafe, where we normally host the in-person show, which we can't right now. And of course, my co-producer is also Stefan Santa Cruz, Amanda Armstrong, and yeah, you guys be good out there. Thanks again, Tanya. You have a pleasant evening because it's evening time in Ukraine, and
Yes.
vampires come out. Oh,
Yes. Thank you.
all right.
Maybe I can see someone, some vampire.
We'll see you later. I'm sure Tanya's waving at the camera too.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Be good and be kind out there, everybody.
So bye bye.
Bye.